We may be joined by Heather Walton, who is our Customer Relations Manager and will be working tech support for our webinar, but I know she's had some difficulties getting in and may not be able to join us yet. Just to give you a little bit of my background, I've been in education for 15 years. I taught 8th grade U.S. history and then was a campus level administrator at the elementary, junior high, and high school levels. So I'm very familiar with kids at all different age ranges. I have served as a curriculum writer and assessor, and I'm currently completing my PhD in educational administration. During the presentation, all of our lines will be muted. However, you can post your questions in the chat box. And we'll go ahead and get started now. We do thank you for joining us as we talk about the ways that you can help your child have a great school year. We're excited to have a full house with us today. And because we have so many people online, as I mentioned, we will have all participants muted during the webinar. This will give everyone the best opportunity to hear all content. As mentioned, we will have time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation. However, we certainly want you to feel free to participate in the discussion. So if you have a question or a comment that you feel needs to be addressed during the presentation, please feel free to type it in the chat box on your screen. Hello, we have someone else joining us?
Oh, hi, Marisa. It's Heather.
Hi, well, Heather. We went ahead and we've already gotten started. And I told them you might be joining us in just a few minutes. So,
okay.
As parents, we want our children to be successful throughout their school year, but there are so many ideas and suggestions on how to do that, it can often be overwhelming to know what to do. Our webinar this evening will help identify some of the most critical things you can do so you know where to put your focus. This is actually a topic that is extremely important and relevant to me. As both a parent and an educator, learning the best ways to support my child have been critical to her success. The goal of our presentation this evening is to help you focus on ways you can support your child through a successful school year. We will then follow up with some time for questions and answers. And we're going to go ahead and get started now. We're going to start this evening with one of my favorite clips to show how students approach the first days of school. Let's take a look and see if you can recognize your child throughout the clip. And at the end of this short video clip, we're going to take a quick poll to see which character your child most relates to.
You're afraid of the hell it's not. You're just afraid your shoe won't open and you'll show up at your own funeral as a center of like, no, I bring my Kevlar and the shoe won't open. Oh, oh. Hands up for love. Let's hit the steel.
And again, I know that's a very short clip, but you got two gentlemen preparing to jump out of a plane to go skydiving. The one that you have to kind of poke and prod and almost force out of the plane, which is Morgan Freeman's character, and then Jack Nicholson's character, who just jumps out all on his own. He's ready to start the day and to start his experience. I'm going to open up a poll very quickly, and I'm curious which one of your children is, or which character is your child most like? And I'll give you just a few minutes to answer the poll. So if you go ahead and take a moment to answer the questions on the screen. We'll wait about 6 more seconds. We're at about 67% of people that have voted right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. And I'm not sure if you can see on your screen or not, but 50% of you have children that can identify with Jack Nicholson's character, excited and eager and yelling as he leaves the door. About 25% of you might have a child that's a little bit more like Morgan Freeman, a little hesitant and unsure and has to be pushed. And then 25% that have other, maybe a combination of both or maybe just something different that's not represented here. For me, I love the way this clip represents the first days of school. Some children are so extremely eager, they wake up ready to go to school each morning, practically jumping out of the door and yelling in excitement as they do so. Others are not as sure. You have to poke and prod them to get them out of bed and out the door. But it is your reaction throughout all of this that can make such a huge difference. Whether they are excited and eager or the hesitant child, your support will carry them through the year. So how do you help them the most? First, in order to help your child have the most successful year possible, it is important for you to do your homework. If you have seen the movie, you know that both characters in that clip went into the jump after being fully prepared. This preparation eases the way and leaves your children ready to tackle anything. I'd like you to pull out a piece of scratch paper real quick and a pen or a pencil, and I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to answer the following 5 questions that are already on the screen. What is the procedure for picking your child up from school? What is the procedure for eating lunch with your child? How does the school handle notification of bad weather days? What is the earliest your child can arrive in the mornings? How are you notified of daily behavior issues? We'll wait about 30 seconds. About 10 more seconds. Great. Now I'd like you to go ahead and count the blanks that you have. If you answered at least 3 of the 5 questions, you have good knowledge of the school's procedures and are mostly prepared to help your child. It is essential that you know the basics of your child's school. Policies and practices of the school may not be the most exciting to know, but they are extremely important. You cannot successfully help your child if you do not know the ins and outs of how their school works. Along with that preparation is taking the time to meet your child's teacher. Excuse me. Your child's teacher is the person who most is responsible for your child. They influence them, encourage them, redirect them 8 hours of every day. You definitely need to meet this individual. And finally, to support your student, you must understand what they are learning. Currently, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get a sip of water. Excuse me. Currently, students in all the states, or in 45 of the states, are learning something called the Common Core State Standards. The Common Core State Standards Initiative was created from the need to have more robust and rigorous guidelines standardized from state to state. These guidelines create a learning environment where students will be able to graduate high school with all skills necessary to be active and successful members of society, whether they take a role in the workforce or in some sort of post-secondary education. Currently, there are 45 states and 3 territories that have adopted the Common Core State Standards. These states can be seen in yellow on the map at the top right corner of the screen. The current focus of the Common Core State Standards Initiative is to help students adopt the content and to align current standardized tests to the new standards. In the future, the standards will be assessed through a streamlined test for either consortium a state may belong to. There are 2 primary consortiums, PARC and Smarter Balanced. Thinking back to our movie clip, there is no way skydivers can jump out of a plane without the correct supplies. All of the preparation in the world will not help if the chute is not packed correctly or if they are not wearing the right safety gear. It is the same way with our students. They need the right equipment on hand in order to have a successful year. At the beginning of school, teachers will let you know what supplies your child will need for their classroom. Folders, glue sticks, scissors, binders, and notebook paper will usually always be on the list, but specific supplies may also be required. Ensure your child has access to the proper supplies so they are able to come to class each day ready to participate. This is also the time of year to buy ahead. As stores want to make way for fall decorations, they will often discount their supplies considerably. Stock up on notebook paper, pens, pencils, and anything else your child may need to have replenished throughout the school year now while the prices are lower. You can also support their learning by ensuring your child has healthy meals throughout the day. Active learning requires more energy than many often realize. A healthy breakfast sends your child to school energized and ready to learn. A healthy lunch continues that, and their day should also be supplemented with healthy snacks. Children should also be sent to school in appropriate attire. Following your child's dress code is essential, even if you do not agree with every element. It goes back to making sure your child is prepared to follow the policies and procedures of the school. Additionally, it can be wise to send your child with a lightweight jacket or sweater so they can be comfortable throughout their day. You also support your child through encouraging as much practice time as they have necessary. Create a regular plan for homework. Your child must complete the homework on their own. This is the best way for them to process learning and to show comprehension. However, be nearby so they can ask a question if necessary, and always check their homework. This keeps you aware of what they're learning, helps you identify any areas of concern, and ensures that your child knows you are involved. Reading is also an essential part of their learning. Some schools will require a reading log to be turned in. Identifying the times your child has read, along with the types of books they're reading. If this is not required by your school, it should be a regular part of your family routine. A minimum of 20 minutes reading a night consistently helps your child learn and develop a fondness for reading. Knowing the basics is also essential for your students. Help your child understand and memorize their math facts and their sight words by practicing with flashcards. And finally, do not hesitate to seek out tutoring resources for your child if you're concerned about their academics. Tutoring not only supports student learning, it can help them regain lost content. Statistics show that students can drop significant amounts of learning over summer months. In fact, according to a study done by the Douglas and Maria DeVos Foundation, kids forget about 40% of what they learn in school during the summer. Visit with the school to find any local recommendations or seek online tutoring support. There are a variety of online resources that can help you considerably. One such program is Lumos Learning. The Lumos Learning program benefits students because it supplements and extends classroom learning, offering students the academic support they need. Courses can be purchased for any grade level, so students can work in lower levels to build up their knowledge or in higher levels to extend learning. The programs are individualized, self-paced, and student-directed, and are aligned to the Common Core state standards. Students can receive support in one of two ways, TED Books or Step Up. TED Books combine printed practice tests along with access to online workbooks. And Step Up offers access to hundreds of questions in either reading or math. Lumos Learning is also the leader in mobile learning. The content can be accessed via any mobile device to offer the student anywhere, anytime learning. A new learning mobile app is also available that offers students access to Common Core aligned practice tests and information about the standards. The app is currently available in the Google Play Store for the Android devices and will be available in iTunes in October. More information can be found at lumoslearning.com/a/parents. Whether they want to admit it or not, scheduling is important for your child. They thrive under routine at any age. Ensure your child keeps the basic routine on a daily basis. This should include a regular bedtime and morning wake-up, even on the weekends if possible. Not only will this help them with their schedule, it allows them to get their rest the growing bodies and minds need. Keep a regular schedule and routine with their activities as well. Children should know what their expected schedule is when they arrive home from school. For some, this might mean a short snack and then homework time. Others may head straight into an activity, reading in the car, and then doing homework when they return. Whatever their schedule is, encourage them to keep track of it as well, possibly in a handheld calendar, mobile device, or a school tracker. Finally, you can support their routine by making sure they do not become too overscheduled with activities. Children should be involved in outside activities. It's good for them mentally, physically, and socially. But if they're too involved, it can overwhelm them and impact their learning. Another way to support your child is through motivation. You are their most important cheerleader, and your positive support carries and lifts them. Be present for them. This does not just mean simply that you are together in the evenings as you review their homework or that you are at a school activity. This means you are actively engaged. They can see your attention through your eyes, your body language, and your replies. You also must know what is going on in your child's education. You cannot support them if you do not know what assignments they're working on, what lessons they're learning, and when they have projects due. Create a system in your house so that you can track what is going on. School can be difficult, and your children can easily feel overwhelming amounts of pressure. Taking the time to celebrate even the smallest of their victories can go a long way towards their success. Hang papers on the fridge. Let them call a relative they enjoy speaking with when they bring home that great grade. Allow them to choose dinner or a treat when they meet their goals. And although your child is the one in school every day, they also need to know that you are supporting them by partnering with the educators in their lives. Be active in the school. Volunteer when you get a chance, even if that simply means sending some supplies when needed or folding booklets at home. Even working parents can volunteer their time. Join your school's parent-teacher organization. Not only will this help support the school, it will keep you up to date on the activities and opportunities for your child. And meet regularly with your child's teacher. Education is a partnership between you and the school. Your child will know when you are in active communication with their teacher, and their learning environment, both at home and at school, will be supported because of it. It does not matter if you live in the country or in the suburbs or in an apartment. The moment your child walks through the front door of your home, they should be entering their safety zone. Just as anyone who is skydiving needs a safe and comfortable place to land, so does your child. One of the most important things you can do as a parent is to create that environment for your child. Let them come home from their day knowing they can vent about an assignment or a teacher, talk about what happened with a friend, share what happened at school, seek your advice, or simply kick back and relax. Supporting your child involves a lot as a parent, but most importantly, it simply requires you. I do want to thank you for your patience during the call. I apologize for the cough that I had. But before we end our webinar, I would like to share with you a few things. We may be repeating this webinar again, so we ask that you share the information that you've learned and the information about this webinar with those you feel may be interested. And we'd like to keep this discussion active and provide additional information as we all move into the new curriculum. We would greatly appreciate it if you could join this discussion by liking our Facebook page at facebook.com/Lumos Test Prep. And finally, if you enjoyed our presentation today and feel it would be helpful for other parents, please like our Facebook page and write a short comment on the page. Email us with a link of your comment, and we will be able to offer you free 1-month access to a step-up workbook of your choice, which is normally a $15.95 value. So at this time, I'd like to open up for any questions if you might have any. You may type them into the screen, and they'll pop up for us.
Okay, Marisa, I see a question from Shannon.
Okay, great.
She's asking what do the books consist of? Are there any samples that can be viewed?
Yes, actually you can view, we post sample questions on our Facebook page, and then also if you go to the page, which is Lumos, well, I'll go back to it so you can see it on the screen. But an answer for what the questions or what the books consist of, we have content for each grade level, so English Language Arts and Math for each grade level, grades 3 through grades 8. The questions are Common Core aligned. The books themselves contain practice tests. I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. The books contain 3 practice tests and then access to the online workbooks. And then the step-up workbooks consist of about 1,000 questions per grade level per content. Do we have any other questions that have come in?
There's another one. When is the best time to start if they're going to try the books? Is it something?
My recommendation, I think it's something that you can do right now. The nice thing about the books or the online, either one, but particularly the books, is that there is a diagnostic test. So your children can take the diagnostic test and you can get an idea what standards they're already strong in, and then you know they don't need any extra help in those. And then it also gives you an idea what standards they might be struggling some in. Just keep in mind that their strengths and weaknesses will grow throughout the year as they're exposed to new content. So while they might be weak in something now, it might not be a true weakness. It might just simply be that they haven't totally learned it yet. So as long as you approach it with that framework, I would recommend starting them at any point in time. Do we have any other questions? I see one that says, what textbooks do they have in the 5th grade? And if I'll go ahead and answer it, and if it doesn't clarify your question, then you can answer it, ask it again. But for us, we have an English Language Arts and a math textbook or a practice book for each grade level.
And there's also another question that says, can I access through Lumos?
Yes, if you go to this website that's highlighted in yellow on the bottom of the screen now, lumoslearning.com/a/parents, then you can get information on how to access. Do we have any other questions? All right. Well, we thank you so much. And again, I appreciate your patience this evening with this cough that I had. We truly appreciate you being here with us. And again, ask that you will like our Facebook page and pass the word on to your friends and others that you think might find this information helpful. Have a great evening.
Okay. Thank you very much, Marisa.
Thank you, Heather.
Okay. Bye.